Hi everyone, it's Renee with Delaney Jane Cards and welcome back to my channel. Today I have a video featuring the Believe Honey Script die, the word and the shadow die, and the String Art Nativity Star die, both from Birch Press Designs, and this glitter cardstock by Memory Box. It is a 6x6 pad. There's 24 of each of the colors, and I pulled out the white glitter cardstock here. And then I pulled out my sample of all of my alcohol inks. I just keep this in the little container I keep my alcohol inks in, and it's just kind of a drop of each one of the ones that I own. And I decided to experiment and see if I could use these alcohol inks on this glitter cardstock. So first I squirted on a bunch of this blending solution, and it looked like a lot more than I really put on, but it was enough to move the colors. And when I first put this down, I was like, yes, the colors move on here. So I knew that I could continue and keep going forward, and we are going to experiment together. I will say, spoiler alert, it does work. So if you have some glitter cardstock in your stash, especially this Memory Box stuff, it does work really, really well. And I was very excited to get these beautiful alcohol ink colors on this glitter cardstock. And the Memory Box cardstock doesn't really shed. It die cuts really nicely. So if you have this one, especially this kind of white color, it might be amazing for you to get any color you want using your alcohol inks. So here I'm just adding more and more colors, and I'm going to continue to kind of play with this until I have the whole piece of 6x6 paper covered. I did try to keep, colors that went well together close to each other, so I didn't end up with any brown, although I could have. It really wouldn't have made any difference. And I added a blending solution when I thought that it had dried up enough, or dried up too much, or wasn't moving anymore. I just dropped some more on there. It actually kind of dyes the paper underneath the glitter. I'm sure the alcohol ink actually does lay on top of the glitter, but the way it looks in real life is kind of like beautiful frosted sugary paper that has this bold color underneath it, if that makes any sense at all. I did absolutely love that green that showed up when I added the yellow next to that kind of turquoise color. I just thought it was super stunning, and I think this is my favorite purple of all times. It's very, very purple, and I thought it was just beautiful. So here I was trying to decide if I had enough alcohol ink on it, and I was checking to see if I could move the ink with gravity. If you pick up a piece of U-Pull paper, the alcohol ink runs until it dries. Well, it may or may not work on this glitter, because I think a lot of it had dried before I really picked it up. To get the color to spread all the way out to the corners so that I knew I had enough cardstock here to work with to make my card, I added some more blending solution, and then I did fill in the corners with some additional color, just because I wanted to make sure I had, a full sheet here. You can see where the alcohol ink bled the purple out all the way to the corner, and I'm just kind of filling in with this aqua color here. It does go really well in these three corners, and I think it's just absolutely fine. So I let this dry, which doesn't take very long. If you ever worked with alcohol inks, you know that they do not take very long at all to dry. Another thing about using it on this glitter cardstock is it wasn't sticky. There's no tackiness. I know a lot of times people say that their alcohol inks dry and then there's like the tacky spots. The trick, you put like foil on them because it's tacky. Here I flipped it over just to see what the bleed through was, and it does bleed through, but it didn't bleed all the way onto my craft mat or my glass mat, so that was pretty cool. It was kind of like stuck inside the paper. And you can see that as it dries here, it does seem like it gets a little bit lighter. You'll see in the photos at the end, it is just absolutely stunning. So then I pulled out a piece of black glitter paper. This stuff is so stinking gorgeous. I wanted to make a simple card. I thought that the alcohol ink that I did on that background really needed to stand out, and I love this die. This is, like I said before, the Nativity Star String Art die by Birch Press Designs. It's gorgeous. It does cut out 2 different pieces. The center star will be a separate piece from the background. So if you wanted to, you could really cut that center star out of any color you wanted, or cut it center star. It's actually, yeah, it's a center of a star. I was going to say it's a cross, but it's not. It is a star. You could cut that out of any color. You could create any color and get, you know, something stunning. Here you can see there's the outside piece, and I'll show you here in a minute that there is an inside piece. But I was kind of checking to see where I wanted to cut, you know, my background. Because now I have options. This is a 6 by 6 piece of paper. My card is going to be 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So I was just looking for the place on my beautifully alcohol inked glitter cardstock that I wanted to focus on and highlight from my card. So I chose this side here, and I went ahead and trimmed it up so that I could line everything up really nicely. You almost can't even see that black cardstock, that black glitter cardstock on my mat there. I'm sorry, I know it's kind of hard to see, but it is just sitting off to the side. And then I am going to go ahead and adhere this glitter frame to this background. I'm going to use Tombow Mono Multi-Glue because it is liquid, so I should be able to move things around just a little bit, but it also comes out really nice fine line. You can kind of put a little bit of glue on the nib and kind of rub it around. And this being a super fine line die, I needed to definitely use liquid glue, and you know, I kind of took my time. And then I just lined it up here and placed it down, and I was very pleased with how gorgeous this black glitter cardstock looks. I think it looks absolutely amazing on top of my alcohol inked panel that I did, and I think it highlights those beautiful rainbow colors and just how beautiful they blend together, and just how easy the color changes between the alcohol colors from one to another. Here I'm just adding some more of that liquid glue to the back of this star, and I'm going to go ahead and get it placed down in the center of my panel there. I mean, you could add a jewel or all sorts of different things to the center, but the die does cut this star. And like I said before, you could add this in any color and it would be stunning. And I don't line it up perfectly because, well, I'm human and humans are not perfect. But these Birch Press Design dies make making cards that look super intricate and super hard very, very easy. So if you're looking for something that gives you a lot of punch, these Birch Press Designs might be something that you want to take a look at. So here I was just trying to fidget and fiddle it around just a little bit. And then I took the scraps that I had left, a piece of the alcohol inked cardstock and a piece of the black, and I cut out the Believe, and this is the Honey Script Believe shadow and word die from Birch Press Designs, and I'm going to just go ahead and layer these two on top of each other, again using the liquid glue. And I guess I could have probably used something like a stick-it adhesive, but I'm not sure how well glitter cardstock sticks to glitter cardstock using some kind of dry adhesive like that. So I am glad that I reached for my liquid glue, because these are absolutely solidly stuck to my card, and I am not worried about the recipient having it fall off on them. I did put the tittle on the eye, and I also cut that out at the same time and made sure that it, you know, lined up with the colors and all that stuff. I think it's gorgeous that it also changes colors the way it does, just like the background. And the colors don't line up exactly, so even though there's that gradient of color, it doesn't blend into the background. That black glitter cardstock also helps to kind of give it a little bit of a backing there so it doesn't fade in. You see that? And I don't know what I would give the card for other than probably something religious. It could be Easter or Christmas or a dedication or a baptism or a wedding or anything, actually. There is no sentiment inside on this card, so I could add whatever I want. I could write a beautiful message, or I could just stamp something super fun in the inside. But that is my card for today. I hope you absolutely enjoyed watching me put it together. I think alcohol inks on glitter cardstock probably has to be one of my absolute favorite ways to use them now. And I hope you try it out too. So here are a few still shots of my card, some close-ups of some of the detail inside this gorgeous, gorgeous die. One of the absolute most fun things about these dies is they create so much detail and you didn't have to do very much. So thank you for stopping by. I very much appreciate you. And as I always say, give cards generously. Bye.